TJ the Wheel Deal coming at you live. It is Friday, November the 7th, 9:47 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. Guys, it's just like it says up there, right? Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I mean, this market is coming after you. It's coming after you right now if you're long the market, right? If you're one of these savants and you bought a bunch of puts or, you're doing stuff with the VIX or whatever, good for you. Good for you. I don't like to buy puts. What do I do instead? What I do instead whenever the market's not going so well? I like to sell naked calls because I'm a premium seller. So to me, a naked call, because I'm going to do the delta is going to be less than like buying the put. I'm not going to make as much, right? If the market tanks, but it's just where I'm more comfortable, if that makes sense. So as we go through these positions today, y'all are going to see that I have a lot more naked calls than naked puts because that's my way of kind of creating delta neutrality, if you will. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to go ahead and do a public live on Friday because it's been a pretty brutal week, all things considered. There was like one really good day, and then that kind of pales in comparison to a couple, two or three shitty days, right? And I just think that it has to do with government uncertainty, guys. I mean, I'm not a real political person, but I do feel like if these congressmen and women, they get paid to do a job, and I feel like they're supposed to put the interests of the American people at large. Like that's what they're supposed to be doing, right? But I think that there's just like way too many agendas. There's way too many agendas. There's too many allegiances that they have, and that's all they want to execute on. They don't look at like 90% of the people that don't really give a shit. They're logical human beings on both sides of the aisle, whether you classify yourself as Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever the case may be, right? Independent, whatever it is. I'm like a logical person. I'm in the middle. Some things I agree with the Republicans on, some things I agree with Democrats on. It's just if it makes sense to me, I rock with it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't have like an allegiance where I have to be like 100% Democrat and 100% Republican. I just think that's just asinine. That is just like idiotic thinking in my mind, right? But not everybody is with me. But I feel like 80 to 90% of the people are with me. But it's these little fuckers on both sides of the aisle with really big megaphones. And that's the problem with this country is I think we need to trim the fat on both sides of the aisle. Let's come together as one people, as one nation under God, and let's do what's best for the majority of the people. These other fucks, let them go fight themselves. You know what I'm saying? Let's carve out some land. We got plenty of land in Texas that's not used. Let's carve it out, and those fuckers can have like a civil war and kill each other. That's what they want to do. All right. Rant over. But that's TJ for president. That's how I'm going to solve shit. I'm like, if you can't get down with the American Party, go over there to this field and y'all can get on one side and have a fucking episode of Braveheart on pay-per-view, and we're all gonna watch and we're gonna enjoy popcorn. Y'all stupid fucks, unreasonable, go kill each other if that's what you guys want to do, but leave us the fuck out of it because we're willing to talk to people on both sides of the aisle. So that's what I think that needs to happen. I think you need to lock these fuckers in a room and they can't get the fuck out of there until they get a deal because they're getting paid money to make things happen for us. We elected them, right? So it's on us too, right? We elected these stupid fucks that they can't get the job done. So we got nobody to blame but ourselves, right? Like I remember when the election was happening for the presidency, my wife and I were like going to go vote. And she voted for Kamala. She'll tell you. I voted for Trump. I'm telling you. But whenever we walked in there, we hugged, we kissed, and we said, baby, politics is never going to divide our home. A. B. Of all of the people in this beautiful country of ours, like 300, 400 million people, whatever it is, this is what we have to choose from. This is the best that we got to offer. This is it. And we just laughed and we cast our ballot and we were just like, this is comical. It's like straight comedy. It's like pay-per-view. Like politics became pay-per-view all of a sudden. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to start out with the quote because I used to do these quotes all the time back in the day. So I want to see if this one shows up here. And I feel like there might be a lot of you guys that are struggling right now. Your portfolio goes up and you're feeling really euphoric. Your portfolio goes down and it's like, for some of you guys, depending on how you're wired up here and how what your heart situation is, your God situation, um, you guys probably have some really bad thoughts whenever the market's not going so well. So I just wanted to impart a little bit of wisdom for you, and it is this too shall pass, right? There's a lot of people that think it comes from the Bible. It does not come from the Bible, but it has biblical connotations, if you will, right? So people like, it sounds biblical, we're just going to rock with it, but it's not. There's a there was a big biblical feature, a figure that said this passage, but it's not in the Bible. So the quote, this too shall pass, is an adage about impermanence, suggesting that all situations, good or bad, are temporary. While the exact origin is uncertain, it is widely attributed to medieval Persian stories, often involving King Solomon, and a ring inscribed with the phrase to remind him of life's changing nature. Abraham Lincoln helped popularize the saying in the 19th century. So anyway, guys, I just want to tell y'all that this too shall pass. This too shall pass, guys. So whenever you're riding the peak, it's awesome, but it's not always going to be that way. Whenever you're dealing with the trough, right? Because the market could be like an emotional roller coaster. Just understand that that's not going to be permanent either. The only constant in life, in my opinion, is change. So things are ever changing. So you just need to be able to roll with the punches. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Just be even keel, guys. I think the people that are like the most stoic, they have the ability to look at all market conditions and deal with them accordingly. So anyway, let me give some shout outs to some of the people here, and we're going to get into portfolio updates, and we're going to rock and roll. I'll even put out the invite there if anybody would like to join as well. We'll get to that point as well. Awesome. So Sergio is saying that he's down to come on. So let me get through the update, and I'll invite you on, and then I'll go on his as well. He has a live later today, and I'll go on that as well. What's going on? How are you guys doing? BMR bag holders unite. I'm telling you, it feels that way, doesn't it? What's going on, Larmo? What's going on, Scary Scott? What's going on, Daryl Hamilton? Good morning, TJ. Yesterday was a good day for sunshine and golf. Yeah, we had a party for my father-in-law. He was celebrating, or he was being recognized by the Chamber of Commerce, and everybody got together at his law firm celebrating 45 years of him being a practicing attorney. He's one of the most successful attorneys, personal injury in the entire state of Texas. He's in like the top 3% in the entire country. Like he's good. He's good at what he does. So we went over there and celebrated that milestone, and he's probably got another 4 or 5 years left in the game, and then we'll see what becomes of the law firm, right? It's something that the family discusses a lot. He's got 3 kids, but neither of them are attorneys. One of them is considering becoming an attorney, so if he does, well then it's pretty obvious what will happen, right? He'll continue that legacy. If he doesn't, I'm not exactly sure what they would do with the law firm. Goodbye and hold forever. I don't know. I just I think that it's definitely going to be exciting for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm not exactly sure how big this whole tokenization thing is or can be. So I don't have an answer for that. I think that everybody has to do their due diligence with that kind of thing and figure out what's best for you. Hi, TJ. What was a move made on Sun's account with the Enphase 35 strike? Did you roll out and down? I'm not in Enphase anymore. We went all in on BM&R. So I'll go through that portfolio in a second. when the market is down and you saw a naked call, all that needs to happen is the president make a comment and the market turns around and you and FFF. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I'm way out of the money though, and a lot of these calls were made when I sensed weakness in the market. So I didn't. I added to some of the naked calls today, but you guys will see. You guys will see. Like I'll walk y'all through it here in a second. So let's not get our head over ourselves. What's going on, Trax? What's going on, Lisa? Manish? Happy Friday. Let's go. Absolutely. I'm going to go play golf at 2 p.m. today. So I'm excited about that. Got my golf buddy Ram. He's going to join me. We're going to try to squeeze in 9 holes today. Just it's important to go out there and touch grass, guys. Get out there with nature and realize that, when you're a premium seller, at the end of the day, you're going to sell puts, sell calls, collect premium, roll when it makes dollars and cents. If you take assignment on puts, you're going to turn around and sell covered calls. If covered calls get out of hand and you don't feel like babysitting them, you let the shares get called away and you try to get back in via cash secured puts. If you've already got your participation trophy anyway, because you bought leaps or whatever, then it doesn't really stress you out too much on the stock does a moonshot on you. So it's all strategic. It's all mechanical. So I think that selling options is a lot easier to do in different market conditions, and it's less stressful for your psyche, if that makes sense. Morning, preach, brother, because my bills don't stop. They made a law that they can get paid so they can come up with deals to reopen the government. Always been like that, sadly. Yeah. There was one congressman pushing for, hey, we shouldn't get paid if we can't get the government open, right? Like we got paid to do a job. So we shouldn't get paid if they're not getting paid. And they're like, no, they shut that shit down. So it just kind of lets you know where these politicians stand, right? It's like if they ain't feeling the pinch, they don't really give a shit about you and me. And granted, we're in a unique situation. Like none of this shit, we're impervious to all of this stuff on a personal level, right? On a financial level, but we're not the majority of the people. So I'm level headed enough to understand that. So you got to look out for the people that aren't so fortunate. And I'm not just that asshole that's like, oh, I'll learn how to fucking sell options. It took me a long time to get here. You know what I mean? So you can't lose touch with reality. And I think that that's the issue with a lot of these politicians is like they're looking at their chummy ass life and they're pretending to identify with those people, but maybe a lot of them don't come from that. Like I was a free lunch money kid, right? Like, my family was on food stamps when I was younger. And so I can totally relate and identify with all that stuff. And I grew up with around a lot of people from Mexico, illegals that came from Mexico, worked on the ranch. They taught me how to rope. They taught me how to ride. They taught me how to work on cars, change the oil, all that stuff. These were good people, man. They're all not just murderers and stuff. Are there some bad apples there? Absolutely. Are they here illegally? Absolutely. It is what it is. But you just want to call it a spade a spade. They help build this country, right? Because a lot of the jobs that they do, nobody fucking wants to do them. And they're certainly not going to do them for that wage. So it is what it is. I think that maybe the one thing, again, TJ for president, the one thing that you could do to encourage people to follow proper channels is give out a lot more work visas to people from Mexico specifically that have, that are bricklayers, etc., carpenters, doing all this grunt work, migrant workers, field workers, etc., and just give them a bunch of work visas and have them come in here, tax them accordingly, and then it's all fucking done. This whole bullshit path to citizenship takes forever. But you can just pump out a bunch of work visas and people would follow the proper channels. I feel like, why are you going to swim across the Rio Grande if we're like, hey, we realize that you guys do these fucking jobs and nobody else wants to do anyway. You're going to do them for lower wages. So it's going to be better for all the construction companies anyway. Here's the work visa. Go make it happen. And it's done. I feel like if you want to get shit done, you can get shit done. That's what I'm saying. TJ for president. Fuck it. I'm on the fucking thing today. I'm on the soapbox today, guys. I think it's all the Charlie Kirk I've been watching over the last couple of months. May rest in peace. But he was a really really powerful voice. You know, I didn't agree with everything he said. Hell, probably only maybe half of what he said. But he spoke with conviction. You know, he spoke with conviction, and it was pretty awesome. Uh, Good morning. Submitted my application to Wendy's this morning. Wendy's, dude. McDonald's, bro. That's where it's at. There's a lot of famous people that have worked at McDonald's. So I feel like McDonald's is where you want to work in the fast food industry. How do you see your portfolio taking a hit and still find motivation to get work and shit done? Because I'm in this thing for the next 20 years. You know, God gives me health. He gives me, the clarity of mind, all those things. I'm not here from expiration date to expiration date. I'm in this thing for 20 years, man. I want to go down as the biggest option seller of all time on YouTube. That's where I want to go. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. That's my BHAB, all right? My BHAG, my big, hairy, audacious goals. I want to go down as the biggest, most transparent option seller of all time on YouTube. So I'll be here for a while. There's going to be days like this, right? There's going to be days like yesterday and today, and probably a couple of days before that, weeks like this, months like this, in 2022, years like this. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Right on. Love it. Thoughts on SoFi? I'm so damn worried that it will crash hard. Man, I think SoFi is absolutely solid. We're going to go through the positions here in a second. I'm just giving shout outs to all you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It couldn't happen. I don't know that 23 would really be tanked, guys. You gotta look back. You gotta look back. I mean, these stocks go on pretty massive runs really, really quickly, and wherever they go up really, really quickly, and they don't go sideways and consolidate, it there's not enough footing there. There's not enough of foundation there, so that's why the stocks kind of crash really, really quickly at time. Why is it even though they doubled the BTC of a buying opportunity? Possibly. I think it's just sentiment. Sentiment's really, really bad with MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin obviously is not performing that well right now either. I'm not seeing you talking about Riot. What's your stake? 100,000 shares long term in our buy and hold portfolio. That's what we got going on with Riot. I don't have any options that I'm playing on Riot at the moment. I don't even have cover calls on those 100,000 shares. Why? Because the buying requirement, the buying power is very, very high on Riot, and I'm not exactly sure why. I've actually got it in my journal to talk to Tasty Trade next week about Riot, because I love selling options on Riot. I love trading it as far as from the options perspective. But it's just like I have CleanSpark, I have Riot that are priced really similarly, and the buying power is a whole lot less on CleanSpark than it is on Riot. So I don't know if that's just a Tasty Trade thing or if something happened in the market. I'm not sure, because I'm not selling options on Robinhood, so I don't know what the margin maintenance is on Robinhood in comparison, for Riot in comparison to CleanSpark. So that's why I've had to gravitate towards CleanSpark, which I'm bullish on, but I'm not as bullish on. So it's one of those things that's kind of a pain in the ass for us. Curious if the end of the shutdown will reverse the market. I really think that it's going to have a positive jolt for one reason, mainly uncertainty. So what are the catalysts? We've got data that's going to come in, so that's going to alleviate uncertainty, right? This is all assuming that these guys can get their freaking shit together and do what they're supposed to do and have a meeting of the minds, right? And get this thing done. Could have been done 35 days ago, probably, if they really wanted to, but it's just it's all posturing and stuff, in my opinion. So I think there's going to be that. The uncertainty is eliminated, and then we got, this is a seasonal, right? This is the time of year where the market tends to start pumping. But Tom Lee said it a week ago. I thought it was going to be 2 weeks of probably a lot of chop, and here we are, week 1. So I think there's going to be another week of chop, a lot of profit taking, a lot of rebalancing, probably early tax harvesting, all that stuff, repositioning, rebalancing, all that stuff. Because I'm doing it. I'm doing it in our portfolios. So I imagine these other funds are doing it on a much larger scale. And then I think we're off to the races for Santa. We're off to the races. Anyway, that's all that I can get to for now, guys. Let me get into the portfolio update action. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here. Actually, the first thing I wanted to, yeah, let me just go here. Let me go here. And we're going to go here. And we're going to go here. I've already got it queued up. There we go. There we go. So let me, I don't know. This thing's not letting me. That's weird. I think it just froze on me, guys. Shit. Well, that sucks. I think you guys can still hear me, but this thing definitely froze on me. That's weird. Let me see if I can. There we go. Well, I guess I'll have to do it on this side. There's something going on with the website side. So we'll try here in a second. But anyway, we'll have to rock with this side for now. I'm going to try the website here again. And if I can't get it to work, well then yeah, maybe I'll close this one out. We'll go over here. We'll go trading. Let's see if I can get it set up this way. Make sure we're on the right one. Yes. Okay, super. So we're going to go to my son's account first, right? So we're going to go, it's account ending in 47. It's just one position, guys. One position. That's it. And it ain't going well. It is not going well. So we got 1,000 shares of BM&R, and they are owned at, well, I guess if I go, maybe the chart, does the chart tell you? I'm not sure the chart tells you. No, it doesn't tell you anything. I was trying to see if it tells me what the price is. So I'm wondering if that's just a metric that I could put on here. It was the trade price. Ah, that's weird. Anyway, with that, well, you see that we're down on the shares, right? I think the average cost on it is about $49. And then I've got calls against those shares at 50 for 14 days out. So up a little bit on those, which is nice, about 50%. And then I had an agreement to buy more shares because I didn't learn my lesson, right? So I got an agreement to buy 500 more shares at $43. And there's not even enough money to take ownership of those shares. I'd be in like margin to the tune of about $5,000 or $6,000. So I'm definitely going to look to send $5,000 more dollars to BM&R. That way, I don't have to babysit these puts. I could just take ownership if I feel like it. And I'm going to keep selling calls. I'm going to keep selling calls. So whenever you're in a hole, you're going to be in a situation like this where you take ownership of shares prematurely, which is exactly what I did. I bought these shares of my own accord. I didn't get assigned these shares. I didn't wheel my way into these shares. Nothing. I thought that it was a good deal to get into these shares at $49. Well, evidently I was wrong. That was not a good entry point. A good entry point would be right here. Like if I was looking at this position brand new today, I'd be very, very excited to start a position right now at $36, but it is what it is, right? It's real hard to buy at the bottom, and it's even harder to try to sell at the top. And I'm not saying that the bottom is 36, but it's obviously a lot closer than 49 was. So that's what's going on with my son's account. Now we're going to go over here to account ending in 60. Did I do that right? Okay, here we go. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So we're going to just take it from the top, make sure that we've got days to expiration here going. I think we do. Okay, super. So we're going to take it from the top. BM&R, what do we got? We got 40,000 shares getting absolutely annihilated. Annihilated. The average cost on these shares is $56.58, I believe. So that part's no bueno. That part's no bueno. Any way you slice it and dice it, that's no good. We got shares for sale at $50 on 14 days from now. Picked up about $45,000, $46,000. I did it for you guys on the live. I thought I was going to save BM&R for being the sacrificial lamb. It turned out that I'm not Jesus. I wasn't able to do that, but I'm happy that I collected the $46,000 or 45, whatever it ends up being, right? And we're going to stay in this trade. We're going to stay in this trade. We got the leaps as well, getting absolutely annihilated on those leaps as well. So what was the strategy between buying these leaps? Because I'm already down on the shares. It's because I wanted to have a license to sell aggressive covered calls possibly even below the cost basis. So like I'm okay selling calls at 45 bucks on the next cycle if I need to ring the cash register $40,000-$50,000 every couple of weeks, because I already paid for my participation trophy to the upside. So if I get caught with my hand in the cookie jar selling covered calls below my cost basis, I feel like my leaps will bail me out. And if I end up selling these shares for a 100, 200, even $300,000 loss, I'll just use that for tax purposes and I'll live to fight another day. SoFi, what's going on with SoFi? We've got naked calls at 36 bucks, 21 days out, 5,000 of them. Picked up about 120,000 bucks for doing that, and we're already up 50% on that side of the trade. So you have an easy side of the trade, and you have the hard side of the trade. If the market's bleeding out, it stands to reason that the naked call side is going to be the easier side of the trade. What's the trade that's getting challenged? This is 4,000 short puts at 28 bucks. This is an obligation, guys, to buy 400,000 shares of SoFi at 29 bucks. When I started this trade, it was at 27 bucks. Because keep in mind, I'd made 1.5 million bucks already. Now the year to date's back down to 826 because I rolled the dice again and went with SoFi again. And now I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. I started with $27 on the short put, and I increased it when it went up to like 31 or whatever. I increased it to 29 to bring in more premiums, and now I'm getting my ass kicked. So I said it yesterday on the members only live. A lot of the problems that you encounter whenever you're selling options, they're of your own doing. So I created a situation where now I have to really monitor this position, because this would swallow up a lot of our bankroll if I had to take ownership of 400,000 shares of SoFi at 29 bucks. So what am I going to have to do now? I'm going to have to probably continue to roll. Well, depending on what it does, right? First of all, I think it's going to bounce. But if it doesn't, I'm going to stay in this thing for another 2 weeks. And then I'm going to have to kick the can down the road another month and start de-risking the position. How? By rolling from 29 to 28. Hopefully I could do it for at least a break even. Hopefully I could get a little bit of money for doing that, right? So that's the idea there. But I have to keep ringing the other side of the cash register, because whenever you're strangling and you have a losing side, it stands to reason that you have a winning side. So I'm very thankful that I had the courage to sell the naked calls, because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm babysitting this position, now there's not going to be any premiums over there. Well, I'm going to keep ringing the cash register on the 36 side. Why? Because if this one gets challenged, guess what? It's not getting challenged anymore. The 29 puts. These things are mutually exclusive. What does that mean? It's this or that. It can't be both. So it's either going to be below 29, or it's going to be above 36, or it's going to be somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle is going to be the sweet spot. So that's what's going on with SoFi. Let's talk to y'all about the most comfortable trade that I have on the books. The year to date was plus $300,000 a couple of days ago. Now it's negative 300,000, but I feel real good about it still. So what do we got going on? I rolled from 225 to 215. So I went from the 14-day cycle to the 42-day cycle, and I rolled those 500 contracts, and I got paid quite a bit of money for doing that. And then we also have 300 short. So we have 800 short puts at 215 and 225, 500 of them at 215, 300 of them at 225. And then we have a boatload of naked calls at 350, because if it's going to be below 225 and possibly below 215, you don't have to be a genius to know that it cannot be above $350 at the same time. So that's why I have more short calls than short puts, because the easy side of the trade is the short call right now. Now, let's say this thing reverses quickly and it goes from 226 to say 275. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to fight it, because this is the unlimited side to the upside, right? This is the unlimited side. It's not really an unlimited side to the downside. Could it go to zero? Yes, it's very, very, very unlikely. So I would trim this position by half, just like that. And then I'm balanced again, 800 to 800. And then if MicroStrategy keeps going up, I'm going to keep rolling my puts up and bringing in the money, because that would now become the easy side. So I can make sure that I have all of the premium that I'm stacking so that I could babysit the upside. And if things start getting really, really hairy, I could do two things. One is I could just close out the naked call side because we don't want to have that kind of pressure on the portfolio, or I could turn it into a call credit spread and I could buy some calls on top of it as insurance so that I can cap the upside damage. Meta. There's a lot of negative stuff going on with Meta, and I'm not exactly sure why. I think the market doesn't like CapEx. Who knows? Who knows what it is? I don't follow it closely, but I have a really wide strangle on this thing. 550 on the downside, 800 on the upside. And I feel like the 800 side, it's above all-time highs. So I feel like that's the easy money side. And then truthfully, I think it's the easy money side too. I think this is just the easy trade. So, but I have a hundred versus 50, right? So the delta is a lot less on the naked call versus the short put or the naked put. Naked put, short put, same thing. Short call, naked call, same thing. So this is just an agreement to buy 5,000 shares of Meta at 550, while also having an agreement to sell 5,000 or 10,000 shares of Meta at 800. So the sweet spot is between two strikes, right? 550, between 550 and 800 is the sweet spot. And I feel very, very comfortable here. I feel like this is definitely a trade that should work out. Down on it right now, right? 18,000 bucks. But I think that at the end of the day, we should probably see all of this money. So it's about a $50,000 win. And I feel like that'll happen by December the 19th. I finally feel like I got a pretty easy money trade on Tesla as well. Congratulations to Elon Musk. They voted and agreed on his pay package. I don't know whether or not that really means anything because I'm not sure if they still got to go to Delaware, and I don't know how it all works. I haven't followed that story as closely. We'll have that conversation another day, or maybe bring one of you guys on that has followed the story a little bit more, or go to Amit's channel. He's like CNBC. I'm pretty sure he's fucking on top of it. But I feel like the easy money side is on the call side. The more challenging side is on the put side. So that's why I have 100 puts at 350 versus 200 calls at 650. So I'm going to start using the term versus. That way it's like it's the 350 versus the 650 and what's a sweet spot right in the middle. Amazon. This is the one that I'm building towards, right? So it's like the MicroStrategy or the strategy and Amazon. These are the real big ones, and they're expiring 42 days from now. So I'll probably have to end up rolling one of these because the portfolio won't be able to handle all of that expiring on the same day. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully this trade really turns around for us, and then we can start trimming it or rolling it out. But essentially, I need Amazon between 245 and 270, right? And this is a balanced as far as the puts and the calls, 750 on both sides. Nvidia, this is another one. I feel like this is a very, very easy money trade here. The short puts, I think, are going to be fine at 175. And if they're not, I think it's pretty easy to babysit. And it's 100 contracts. I'm really happy with the sizing there as well. But it's 100 puts at 175 versus 200 calls at 250. I feel like the valuation at 250, even though it's Nvidia, it's amazing. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. So that's why I have 200 calls over there. Now let's talk about another valuation that's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion, and that's Palantir. So you're going to see 200 puts at 160, 70 days out versus 600 calls at 260. I did a post when this was 400 calls. I did a post on X saying, hey, I feel like this is literally free money. And that's how I feel. That is how I feel. I feel like there is just absolutely nothing that Palantir can do within this next 70-day period to get to 260. If it happens, though, it's not that big of a deal. I could just roll it out a month or two and go to 280, 290. I mean, it's just, I'm going to win that trade. We're already winning. We're already up 50%, but I'm going to milk every last dollar from there. Why? Because I also thought that I had an easy money side on the short put, and it's turning out not to be so easy money. So the money that I made or that I'm up on the calls, I'm down on the puts. That's the reality. So there might come a time here in the next 30 days or so where if it's still hovering here at these levels and I'm still feeling a little bit of pressure on the short puts. And why do I say pressure? It's not that the position's getting pressured. I feel pressure because I think Palantir is not a good deal at 160. I don't even think it's a good deal at 120. I think it starts becoming a good deal at 100. That is just how I feel, right? That's what makes the market. We all get to vote. We all get to vote on what we think is a good deal for us, and we position our portfolios accordingly. So that is why I only have 200 puts because I don't want to take ownership of 20,000 shares at 160. So I'll just keep rolling and rolling and rolling, but I need to have this easy money side going and I need to have it heavier weighted, but I'm still way out of the money because this thing is I mean, it's like a cult, right? Like people just absolutely love Palantir. It's made life changing money for a lot of people, all that stuff. We've done very well with Palantir as well. So I'm going to keep this position here at a 3-to-1 ratio, one put versus three calls. And then I'll roll it down from 260, 250, 240, 230. So I can milk some extra premiums. That way, if I don't want to change the expiration date, I could give some money back on the put side and lower from 160, 150, 140 if I need to get to the expiration date. And I'm hoping that this particular trade, makes a couple $100,000 when it's all said and done. Already at 428,000 year to date. There's $310,000 of meat on the bone. I feel like I am going to add more premiums by lowering the strike on the calls. So I think at the end of the day, the goal by January 70 days from now is to be up $750,000 on Palantir, never having owned another share in this particular portfolio. Hood. This is another one that I feel pretty good about, guys. I got 150 puts at 110 versus 300 naked calls at 190. I feel like there's nothing that Hood can do. They had amazing earnings. Palantir also had amazing earnings, probably the most amazing earnings in their company's history. But at some point, valuations matter. I feel like that's just where we're going to be with the market. And I also think that Hood is very dependent on crypto. So crypto is kind of hurting a little bit right now. It stands to reason that Hood's going to be hurting a little bit. What I need to do though is I just noticed on my TV that as I get lower on here, hold on, bear with me. I need to remove, I don't know how to do it. Here we go. I'm going to remove the comments from here. That way it's easier for you guys as I get lower over there. So bear with me. So we should get back over here, go back this way, and we should get back to where we were. That should be a little cleaner for you guys now. So we got the 150 puts at 110 versus the 300 calls at 190. Google, I trimmed this position again. For tax purposes. So we're at 250 puts at 250 versus 250 calls at 300. That's for next year. And Apple is at 250 puts versus 250 calls. And then I closed out Enphase today because I need to make sure that my buying power stays in that 60% range. And this is a brand new position that I'm really getting more and more bullish on, actually. And that's ASST, ass and titties, as Jesse Dow says. So I got 100,000 shares at like 148, something like that. I haven't even looked at the options chain. I looked at it a little bit and it was like really thin, but I don't know that I'm going to add any more shares to this thing. I may consider some leaps or something like that, or maybe even some debit spreads, possibly, depending on whether or not I feel like there's anything there on the options chain. I do think that if the stars align for this thing, I think this thing could easily see 10, 12 bucks again. Past that, I don't have any substantial investment thesis. Past that, I know there's a lot of stuff on the internet now. I went down this rabbit hole yesterday and there's people saying this thing could go to like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. I don't know. I see a path to like 12 bucks. So I was like, it'd be fun if I could get kind of lucky. If I can get kind of lucky on this, 149 grand could turn it into a million really, really quick. There's a lot of short squeeze potential on this particular stock. This isn't what I do for a living. Like there's people that all they do is look for these types of opportunities. Uh, this was about a post. This was about a post, right? So we're done with the portfolio update. So this was literally just about a post. I posted what's a stock under $2? What is a stock under $2 that has like a moonshot potential? And then and Mike Alford is somebody that I follow on X. I've listened to a couple of his spaces. He's a really, really good investor, dude. He's aggressive though. He's really, really aggressive, and he has a huge position on AST. He's got 1.56 million shares at probably like $1.20 or something like that. $1.07. It says right here, $1.07. So I've been following his journey for a while. He's on the board of directors on Iron. He's been pounding the table on Iron for a while, and everybody sees what happened with Iron, right? He commented on a couple of my posts because I'm extremely bullish on Riot, and he's like, I appreciate everything that you do in the market, but how do you not know that Iron is superior to Riot? And I was like, well, I just think that Riot has the better infrastructure from my research, and I feel like they have a Bitcoin hodl. Iron doesn't. So this is just me not really understanding the fundamentals of Iron the way that he did, but it stands to reason why he's on the freaking board of directors, right? So because of his track record, and I saw that ASST was the stock that everybody was recommending under $2. And I was like, I'm gonna take a flyer. I'm gonna take a flyer. That's it. And then so it was Stanley Druckenmiller. Invest, then investigate. So I invested, and now I'm investigating. And guys, what I'm liking what I'm seeing. So I want to end this on some fun. There, y'all all know that Captain Crunch, he refers to me as Uncle. He's a funny, funny dude. There we are. So I might as well like the stream, right? We're on here. He's funny, but he's like a little bit of a cyber bully. He's a troll, right? He's what you call a troll. So anyway, I put on here, I think we need to set up a grappling match between me and Zelo. This is Captain Crunch right here. I don't know him. He's funny. It says here he's 34 years old, or at the time he did the profile. Former illegal alien, proud beaner, first Mexican bank in the USA with over 100 members, Down syndrome survivor, not financial advice. So I don't know whether or not he's really a Down syndrome survivor or not. I think all of that stuff is awesome. Proud beaner, like beaner is kind of a derogatory term for Mexicans. I don't take offense to it. I don't exactly know where it's derived from. Maybe it's because the culture eats a lot of beans. I don't know. I like beans. My wife likes beans, so it tracks, I don't know. But again, it's one of those things. I don't think it's like on the same level as like the N word, if you will. So I've been called beaner before. I've never felt like, oh my God, I'm a victim of racism or anything like that. I was like, well, I do like beans, so it kind of tracks. But anyway, I put on here, it will be funny as fuck to watch a 50-year-old man, that's me, ragdoll this skinny jeans wearing ass cyberbully. What say you? Will the faceless bully accept the challenge? LMAO. And so let's just read the comments because I haven't had a chance to read them. So here he is. What are my odds? And then he does some wrestling. So I put laughing my ass off on the phone. I was on the phone doing it. And then Snowball Hustle, he's like, this is Hugo, put it on pay-per-view. And then the Poly Market, let's make it happen, $200 on TJ. And I go, this would be a big mismatch. I don't think I spelled mismatch right. I think it's supposed to be one word. I'd bet 5K if I were you on me. That's what I'm saying there. Can I go next? I'm almost 59. And then who wins the grappling match? So right now I'm winning, guys. Right now I'm winning. There's only 13 votes, but I'm going to share this right here to see if we can get some more votes because I might have a bigger reach than this person right here. Uh, yeah, he's got 700 followers, so I've got a little bit more than that. So, hey, TJ, this guy posts chocolate martinis on a Tuesday. You don't want to go near him. Let me ref TJ. You're a 4-1 favorite in the early betting. Waiting for the odds to open in a minute. He's a clown. All he does is say the rudest things to people 34 years old with nothing better to do. So I'm just going to put on here. It's all in good fun because I don't know this guy, and I'm certainly not like trying to beat him up or anything like that. I actually think he's funny. I actually think he's really, really funny. It is kind of amazing to me, though, that everywhere on my feed, he trolls. Like, and I'm not talking about just like when I post. I'm talking about when somebody else posts, and this dude's like Johnny on the spot. So I've often wondered if he has like all of these comments already prepped, and he has some sort of a bot that helps him out. Because I have a real hard time believing that somebody just has that kind of time on their hands. And he's always posting pictures, like he's in Philadelphia, and he's always posting pictures of going out there and doing like touristy shit. So I was like, how could you possibly have that kind of time? So I think he might just be one of those nerdy dudes that has like a bot that is somehow programmed to post all of this crazy shit everywhere. So I call him the faceless guy. And they're saying this is what he looks like. I'll subscribe if you hit your 200-pound goal and then grapple. Deal. So I'm on a mission to get to 200 pounds, guys. I weighed myself this morning. I weighed 224 pounds. Not too long ago, I was 248. At the beginning of the year, I was 259. So we're trending. We're trending, right? We're trending. So anyway, guys, let's have a little bit of fun here. And let me do an invite out here if anybody wants to come. Got a little bit of time. Go copy, paste. So we can do, somebody comes on, they just want to shoot the shit. I'll put on here for Sergio, let him know the link's in the chat if he has time. Link in chat. I'm reading Manish's comment. Anyway, so let me see where are we? Where are we here? I want to go back. So we did this one. Hey, what's going on, JJ? What's going on, Iceman? Matthew, how you been? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. I relate as well, TJ, but so many of those around me growing up stuck in poverty because they don't work hard. I worked my ass out to get where I am. They're still there collecting. It really is, man. It really is. There's people. I grew up in a couple of different towns, but I feel like the town that shaped me the most was in Fremont, Texas. And there's some people that they collect disability because something's like kind of wrong with them. And then it's like they'll go get odd jobs and get paid cash. And then all of a sudden a job comes their way. All of a sudden a job comes their way, guys. And they can do it with their condition. And they don't want to because they'll lose their disability. And that really burns a hole in my ass. Like that really chaps my hide, if you will. Another scenario, I've seen it. I've seen it. There's people that get an excess of food stamps and they sell those food stamps for money at a ratio of 2-to-1. So if you give them $1 in cash, they'll give you $2 worth of food stamps. Now, there's like a card. It's called the Lone Star card in Texas. I don't know if that's what it's called across the country, but in Texas, it's called the Lone Star card. Or at least it used to be. I don't know what it's called now. But I want to say it's part of the whole SNAP program. That's what they keep talking about, on TV. So they'll go, or they'll either give the person the card and they'll go shopping with their card to get the PIN numbers and all that stuff, or they'll go buy the groceries for you. And it is a it's a racket, dude. It is a racket. Like 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would see posts on my Facebook that says, do you know anybody selling food stamps asking for a friend? Just like literally just like that out there in the open. I don't know the law that much, but I feel like, I mean, it's got to be at least a misdemeanor at best. I don't know if it's like a federal offense, if you will, but it's got to be frowned upon at least. And again, I feel like it's more than just a slap on the wrist. But I see these comments on Facebook on a regular basis, so I do get it as well. I do get it. I do get it. You're looking skinny, TJ. Keep it. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Data at 10 this morning was 5 that were looking for the 3. Then heard a million people have lost jobs this year. How can you invest? How can you invest in this type of market? You know, the market's been around for well over 100 years, man. So there's going to be all kinds of, market conditions. What I know about me is this: I'm going to sell puts, I'm going to sell calls, I'm going to collect premium, I'm going to roll and makes dollars and cents. And then I look at the companies that I'm invested in. I'm like, well, SoFi ain't going out of business. Palantir ain't going out of business. Hood's not going out of business. Tesla, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple, Nvidia, they ain't going out of business. They're going to adjust as companies. I'm going to adjust as an investor. For all your sake, I'm going to sacrifice a bear and worship a bull today. They need to stop throwing money nowhere, putting their hands back on their country and know the people in the country. Sergio Avidian,
What's
investor
up?
extraordinaire. I don't think I've ever heard anybody criticize the government's fiscal irresponsible spending as you do on your channel. I feel like you are legitimately concerned about the state of our country and nation as a whole, because racking up $1 trillion in debt every 90 days simply is not sustainable.
No. Um, I mean, literally, I talk about this in private circles for a long, long time, and then, I mean, YouTube is not for money. YouTube is for me to vent out, basically, honestly,
Yeah.
because I am not only concerned because I have children. I'm concerned about Mr. Sam Altman, the snake oil salesman of all snake oil salesmen from OpenAI, already asking for the government bailout and all this bullshit, right? I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of all this. But look, it is what it is. Government's been shut down for, I don't know, a record 40 days or something like that.
Yes.
And the writing is on the wall. They're going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't matter who's in, charge.
Yes.
That's going to increase. And it's unstoppable at this point. And the problem with it is, as soon as the market sniffs the musical chairs are going to stop and they know there's only one chair and 9 people in the room, this is what happens to markets.
Yeah.
Because
Agreed.
markets are weird. Markets top, nobody expects it when they top, right? And
Yeah.
then markets bottom when nobody expects it to bottom. Market is the best mechanism to make everyone wrong,
Yeah.
period. Okay. But then when you have a broken fiscal policy followed by broken monetary policy, which I talk quite a bit about, you know, I'm as good as anybody drawing chopsticks on charts, right? But fundamentals rule. Fundamentals, you got to pay attention to fundamentals.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't day trade on fundamentals. But when the market sniffs this, right, and it's pricing in perfection plus 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 plus, even there's no talk of recession yet, there's no talk of slowdown yet, but we know what's happening with all the job cuts already due to AI. So look, there's problems coming up. I'm not bearish. I can't be bearish. This is just we're just pulling back to the 50-day moving average. I mean, It's a mean reversion trade at the moment, but then it could get ugly. So, and to be honest with you, TJ, a lot of people pay attention to the index, but what's happening underlying underneath the surface has been so ugly for the past month and a half already. Meaning people's, who hold stocks, they already know they're down 30, 40, 50%. So to me, the key is to figure all this out, read the tea leaves correctly, and then put your trades on if you're going to trade.
Agreed. We have another gentleman that joined. He just has to unmute his microphone. We have pun_intended. Can you hear us? You can't hear us. Anyway, sir. Oh, there you are. Are you there?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, there you are. Welcome to the channel, man. How are you?
Good. I was trying to figure out how I could get the. Yeah. Good.
I feel like
I
there
think
might be a lag, right?
I
Is there
think
a
you need
lag?
to turn your YouTube off because I think you have a delay going on. Just stay on StreamYard, turn YouTube off if you have a delay or an echo.
How's that?
Perfect. Can you hear us?
Still delayed.
Yeah, just turn the YouTube side off completely. Like click X and get out of YouTube. Stay on StreamYard.
YouTube's X'd out.
Okay. You should be no.
There shouldn't be a delay anymore. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, super. So how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Good to finally meet you.
You too, man. You too. So what's going on with the market? What's going on? What's going on in your world, if you will, like an old George Strait country song?
Not too much.
Let's play a game called "What's Going On in Your World." It sure is lonesome in mine.
Did you ever make it up to Sturgis?
No. My
No?
wife definitely put a pin in that balloon. So kind of annoyed about that because my brother and I have a bucket list item that we want to go rope in Las Vegas during the national finals rodeo. And another one is Sturgis. And these were things that these are goals that I made way before I met her, right? So we're 4 years together now, so I feel like I got to coax her into it. But yeah, I have a bagger, right? So I want to like ride it everywhere, and I'm like really into it. But she's like one of those ladies that's real concerned about safety, and I don't live in fear. Like I feel like God doesn't give us the spirit of fear, so I'm just going out there trying to live my best life, and some things that I do. Some people consider them dangerous. I just consider them fun, and anything in life potentially has consequences, right?
Well, that place is a lot less family oriented than it used to be, or a lot more family oriented.
Yeah, I seen like on the Discovery Channel and stuff, right, or wherever where they have like these rallies, and I mean, it just depends on where you gravitate to, right? Like I don't drink, I don't like I'm not like a partier, so I mean, I feel like I'm just not gonna be around that stuff. I just want to like go see all the different types of motorcycles, and then there's a lot of trails that are on my bucket list. I want to go to Mount Rushmore and stuff on the motorcycle. I just feel like that's a track that I want to make in my lifetime. So we'll see, man. I feel like I could get her on board. So what's going on with the markets, man? How are you dealing with everything?
Oh, I'm trying to be relaxed, but there's a lot of basically everything's in the money.
So what give us a couple of pain points, and maybe Sergio and I could help you out a little bit. Can you give us an example of something that you're babysitting that might be causing you a little discomfort?
I think all I'm in right now is just NVIDIA, Hood, and BM&R. Like BM&R is probably my least conviction position, but
So why is it your least convict? Obviously, NVIDIA speaks for itself.
Just because it's crypto, and I've always had reservations on crypto.
Gotcha.
Just because it's ETH and it's all based off of ETH. I still think ETH is going to be, used for stable coins and that. So not too worried about it long term. But
Are
I
yeah.
you
definitely
are
go
your
ahead.
positions is your position size correct? Like, because most people get uncomfortable when their position size is incorrect according to their account size.
Yeah, so like BMR, it's a pretty small position for me, so I'm not too worried about it. I'd have to pull it up, but it's probably between 5 and 10% of the port, so it's not
Okay,
too.
yeah, I mean, look, you got to bleed with everybody else, but then if you're short puts, this is what the market does. So, like, selling options is not free.
Yeah,
When the market accelerates and implied volatility goes up, it's the time to sell options. But then you're going to be in the money literally every other day, and you're going to keep rolling the can down the road. And look, selling options is not as free as it's claimed to be on X, right? Because I have all these people on X that go, "Oh, selling options is wonderful." Yeah, selling options is wonderful on a 3-year bull market when you keep selling puts and they expire worthless. But other than that, when the market's like this, selling options is going to force you to do stuff. It's going to force your hand, which is the downside of selling options. But look, I mean, if you're bullish on ETH long term, yeah, you got to absorb the pain. I mean, I'm not in BMNR. I'm in SBET, and I've been in SBET. I even put on defined risk downside trades, and I'm still eating it. So I'm going like, hey, that's part of the pain. And if you're completely naked, if you're not in put credit spreads or you're just naked puts, you're just going to eat it. You're going to take hold of the shares and get yourself out of the misery that you're in.
Yeah.
no, I
You
feel like I'm in a pretty good position. I'm not in margin or anything. I
Good,
just in a cash account, and I
good.
feel like I'm in pretty good names, being in Hood and Nvidia and
Yeah.
BMR.
I mean, look, man. I mean, these over long periods of time, markets has done well. And the
Yeah,
point is, you lose sight of why you're doing what you're doing. Because, I know a lot of people who become long-term investors from short-term traders, and I've met a lot of those people in my life. And but I mean, I'm eating it. I'm literally in every single put credit spread that I have has hit max loss. So, but then at least now I know my downside can't get any worse. If the market tanks another 1,000 points here, I'm going like I'm already at max loss. I can't lose more. That's the advantage. When I put these trades on, I'm always thinking of the downside. I mean, TJ, when was it that was it Uzi and with his charts and whatever? We were on your show a month
Yes.
ago.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, what about the downside?
Yeah.
Right? And the downside is here. So nobody knows where that thing is going to stop. But then fundamentally, if you're bullish on Ethereum long term, you should be all right. Right?
Right.
If you're not,
yeah,
then get the heck out.
I'm not too
Agreed.
worried about it. I feel like I'm in pretty good names, so I know there's people out there that are in much worse positions than me, and using margin. And
Yeah, yeah. All the YOLOers, they're just all posting their Robinhood accounts. Oh, look at my account. I'm like, yeah, where's your account? No.
yeah, I just need to figure out if I want to take assignment on all the contracts that are in the money or roll some.
I
I'm not
mean,
too
you play the
uh,
game, man. Play the game. TJ, there was a comment that I want to respond to. If you don't mind putting that
Yeah.
up? I mean, it's going pretty fast, but
Yeah, absolutely. Which one is it, Sergio?
um,
Where are we at?
shit.
I identify as
No. Oh, here. Brian Hughes says it's a false dichotomy. That one, yeah. It's a false dichotomy to talk about how the markets, I don't know, that's tough or are tough. It's an either or. No, it's not an either or, sir. Fundamentals show up on the charts, if that's what you mean. It's not a dichotomy at all.
yeah.
When you look at a chart always tells you the past. And every chart is pretty much telling you what the stock has done. I have never seen a chart that's going from the lower left to the upper right with horrible fundamentals on a company, and vice versa. I have never seen
This is
a chart
he's clarifying, so we might want to say he says
that's saying
I'm saying it's not an either or.
no, it's not. And you must pay attention to fundamentals. I can assure you, if you're in a stock, if you're in quantum computing stocks, which I was short and closed the shorts too soon, if you're in those types of stocks where they don't have a pot to piss in, but stock goes from 2 to 58 or Oklo, nothing. They don't have anything. They have no revenue. They have nothing. So you have to pay attention to fundamentals, because the chart is telling you one thing. Momentum is a very powerful thing, but when the momentum flips, the other side of the coin is very powerful as well. And then all these people that are out there talking about all these quantum names and AI names and power generators and AI data centers, they're all going to eat it. And they're going to be bag holders. They're going to be bag holders for a long, long time. I don't know how many times you need to sell calls to cover your ass on those. So my point in all of this is buyer beware, pay attention to fundamentals. Look, you have two choices as a trader. You either sit on your hands, which is a very difficult thing to do for a lot of great traders. There's a lot of great traders that I know, they sit. They don't have to be involved. You don't have to be involved in any of this madness. Or you trade. But if you are trading, you must always think of the other side, always. And because there is the other side, and the other side is showing itself up. I mean, I can give you a million names that are already down 50%, and the market's only down 3% from its high, all-time high. If the market tanks another 10%, indexes, where are those stocks going to be? You think they're going to go against the trend and go up? Absolutely not. Look at the bag holders and Beyond and Open and all these stocks, right? To me, it's like, buyer beware. If you don't know what you're buying, you shouldn't be buying at all. Just sit on your hands. Sitting on your hands is better. Cash is a position, folks. I understand it's itchy, but cash is a position. So.
Yeah, really, really nice to have cash for sure during these types of situations, because I don't know. I was on one of my members only streams, and I was like, and it was one of those, like, it was a bad day, but I was looking at all the positions that I was in, and I was looking at my watch list, because on the Tasty Trade platform, there's about 6 to 10 positions or so that I'm not in, like, that I monitor, like, on my little watch list. My watch list isn't really expansive, because I like to sell puts and calls on the same stocks over and over, because I feel like it's just easier for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really see a deal anywhere on there, like on the red day, like it was, when you're dealing with high beta names, like, you got to be able to handle the roller coaster, right? Like, you signed up for that bungee jump. So know what could happen. But I couldn't see any deals. The only one that was approaching something that I was like I call it the itchy trigger finger syndrome, was end phase, when it was in like that 30-29 range. I was like, okay, well, this company still has figured out how to make money. They got headwinds, but they are buying back shares. And then now here recently, there was a deal with California that is kind of bullish for them, because they've had a real rough go of it for probably 18 months or so now, it seems. And they're probably going to have another rough go for about 6 months. So TJ, a year ago, I would have just started loading up on the position already. But I'm like, I feel like there's going to be time here. So I think that it is prudent, in my opinion, and I'd like for you guys to chime in. When you see something, no, I'm saying when you see something that appears to start being a deal, you don't have to allocate all the money that you earmarked for that position right away. Like, you can scale in slowly, or make the stock present a compelling reason for you to want to own it. And right now, in phase, it's finally trading at levels that aren't nosebleed, because this thing traded at nosebleed levels for a really long time, right? It was kind of like Palantir before Palantir, if you will. Maybe not at those levels, but it was ridiculous. It was absolutely this thing was almost $300, guys, I think, not too long ago. Now it's at 30. I can't really do math on the spot, but that's like an 80-90% drawdown. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a serious fucking drawdown right there. If one of y'all can pull the chart, I'll let you guys like we can share that chart or whatever, but it is a pretty massive drawdown on end phase. But from a valuation perspective and a fundamental perspective, like, the technicals are one thing. To going to this person's point, was it Brian, I believe?
Yeah.
The chart's going down, right? But the fundamentals also went down. So at some point, they're going to mirror. Like, I think for over long stretches of time, and I don't know what investor said, but over long stretches of time, stock always trades on fundamentals.
Yep.
Like it has to match up. It's like a mirror. You know what I mean? Like it's like a mirror. That's why I'm like really, really careful with Palantir right now, and why I'm choosing to make all the money that I can on the naked call side, because I keep selling puts on this freaking company, and it's a matter of time before I get caught with my hand in a cookie jar, knowing damn well that I thought that the stock was so damn overvalued the whole time. So if and when it happens, I have nobody to blame but myself. And I think what Sergio comes on and he says in a roundabout way is, you got to know what it is that you're signing up for. You know what I mean? Like you got to know the game that you're playing. And there's it's like Russian roulette, like you got to know what it is that you're signing up for. So you got to be careful. You got to be mindful. If you're fortunate enough to have cash on the sidelines, if you've been diligent, selling your puts and calls and you got cash that way as well, or you've just been a real good steward of your bankroll, I'm thinking the party might just be getting started to the downside here, especially with this uncertainty with the government shutdown. If they don't resolve it here really soon, I'm going to be real careful deploying my cash, because the deals might just barely start happening for the stocks that we're interested in, right? Or that I'm interested in. What about you, Sergio? What do you think as far as, you have money, like, are you pretty quick to get in, or do you just kind of like, this thing is kind of really, because I already got my first entry wrong or whatever. Like, how do you figure out when it's time to like start deploying the cash? Like, what are the things that you look for with your 30, 40 years of experience in this industry?
Okay. So in all this, so my favorite setups, let's start there. My favorite setup is, going back one more time to technicals and fundamentals, right? There will be a company that you've been following for a long time, let's say Enphase, right? So what will happen is that with no news, no positive news, stock will start moving higher. And that will happen after a long, long period of basing and, but what will happen is that stock will start moving higher. And there would be no good news still. But what's happening is that's the signal for you. Technicals, that's when the technicals take the lead. Because what's going to happen now, the technicals are going to guide you to enter a position where the fundamentals are going to catch up. And it happens also the other way around, on the way down as well. The technicals will start breaking down, let's say Palantir or Meta or whatever. The technicals will start breaking down, and then the bad news will catch up, right? So technicals are good in a way that it kind of tells you the picture from the past, but it also tells you the picture what is about to happen. Because when a stock starts going up with no good news whatsoever, well, there is something. Market always knows, okay? Somebody always knows something. So you need to just kind of follow the trend. Technicals are good for me to figure out if it's an uptrend or a downtrend, and then trade within the trend. Basically, that's what I'll do. And fundamentals will take care of itself. So, but as far as deploying cash, when the markets turn negative like this, you can do two things again. You can sit on your hands. You don't have to be involved, because where you think a price is good on something, and what happens is that when the market's kind of like a falling knife kind of a market, your best guess on technicals or whatever it is not going to matter, because things are going to go further lower than you think they're going to go, and things are going to go further up when the market's going up. So I'm patient, man. I scale in. If I'm going to put on a position on a stock, I mean, a lot of people, they say, I nailed the low on this one, I nailed the top on this one. I'm like, good luck. It's going to, every person probably has done that once in their life, but that's not the norm. That's like me hitting a golf drive going 300 yards, but my average is 220, because I had a 50-mile-an-hour wind behind me, and then the ball went a lot further than it's going to go. So all I do is I scale in, I scale out, I cut exposure like very quickly. So in my own account, I'm about 78% cash now. I took losses yesterday and I cut exposure. That's it. What I do, and I tell this to everyone, I trade my equity, TJ. I look at my equity. My equity is looking at me. That's my scoreboard.
Facts.
If I have $100,000 yesterday, today I have $90,000. It doesn't matter what the individual positions that you can have 20 positions on. I trade my equity because the reason for that is if I have a drawdown of 10%, I only need 13% to get back to an all-time equity high.
Right.
If I have a drawdown of 50%, which a lot of people are experiencing already in a couple days, now I need 100% move up just to come back to where I was. That's a very difficult game to play. I choose not to play that game. But when it comes to putting positions on, I tried my best to trade within an established trend. Because it's a lot easier. Like in an established trend, if a stock is going from 10 to 40, yeah, it will not go directly, right away to 10 to 40. You'll go 10 to 18, pull back to 15. That's when you sell your puts. That's when you do your synthetics. That's when you're going to buy the stock if you buy it. But I like a trend. And on the downside as well, if I'm going to short something, right, it's the same thing. It's lower lows, lower highs, higher lows, higher highs. And yeah, man, you got to scale in. You don't shoot your wad all at once because markets will make you wrong. It'll go a lot lower than you think it's going to go. And it's going to go a lot higher than you think it's going to go.
Facts. Let's welcome Steve. I don't know. Swords Capital. I feel like I could say that. Is it Grumet? How do you say that? Grumet?
Grumet, yeah. Whatever makes sense to you.
Well, I just want to know how to say it. It's your name. I feel like I should know how to pronounce it. But anyway, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you joining. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came across this little corner of the world in YouTube.
Yeah, I've been buying stocks since I was 16, but never really got into the realm of selling the options and kind of getting deeper into the fundamentals of companies until I was like in college, probably 18, 19. And I think I caught you on Twitter or X one of those days, saw your stream, and been a fan ever since.
Awesome, man. Well, welcome to the channel. I want to talk about a flyer. I have a flyer bet on. This is sometimes we do things that are out of character, if you will. So I have confession to make here. I got a little degen in me too. I'm very systematic. I sell puts, sell calls, roll when it makes dollars and cents. Sometimes there's this shit called away. Sometimes I let it get assigned because it's part of the game. If you're selling options, it ain't all, as Sergio says, it isn't just a bunch of free money. If selling strangles, one side is going to be free money, but that doesn't mean that the money you're making is going to offset the money you're losing, right? Like depends on how weighted you are, because you gotta be heavier on the easier side. If you're not heavier on the easier side, then that hard side is going to punish you. So there's no such thing as just free money. Selling a naked call on Palantir at 260 isn't free money, but I feel like it's easy money. But anyway, I have taken a flyer on ASST. So we're going to keep it light. It's Friday. So on Jesse Dow's channel, it's known as Ass and Titties. ASST. In a pretty substantial bet for a straight up gamble, but had an amazing year, a banner year. And I was like, dude, I feel like I can't formulate any type of investment thesis after firing the first bullet. I'm totally okay with the tax harvest as well. So like I already knew going in that this was literally just like fucking betting on black roulette at Vegas. And I usually do it. Some of you guys have seen me. I'll do anywhere from $100, $300, $500, bet on black, and it kind of sets the tone for the vacation, right? If I get lucky, I feel like we're gonna be okay. If not, let me tone it down. It's not really flowing for me. So I took $100,000 share position on an AST, a penny stock. Market cap is less than $1 billion. I don't normally play in this space. I did early on and I made a lot of money and then I lost a lot of money. So I was like, hey, let me go deal with companies that have already proven something in the marketplace. And this was all based on two folks that I follow, Mike Alfred and Jesse Dow. And then the 12th man, if you will, was the members and the people that follow me on X. I did a little post. What $2 or under stock, in your opinion, could do a moonshot? And there was like one called NACA and several others that were thrown my way. But the overwhelming response was ASST. So can y'all raise y'all's hands if y'all have a position on this company, or have you even heard of this company? So it's another Bitcoin, it's another digital asset treasury company, but I feel, and I'm hoping that Sergio has done due diligence on this one because I just started last night. They have a little bit of a twist because it's like assets and it's like equity management. They do like equity management. They're doing they're essentially diluting, but they're taking on loans or whatever, like 12% interest. It's kind of crazy. And they're aggressively buying Bitcoin. And there's going to be a way somehow. I just can't really follow the story yet. It takes me a while to formulate an investment thesis. That's why I don't like to take on new tickers, because it's work. Like, it's work if you really want to understand what the hell you own, right? Because there's Peter Lynch. Know what you own. Right now, I don't know what I own. So this is literally like $149,000 gamble, because my average cost right now is $1.49. And I'm willing to get as high as 250,000 shares on this particular position if the investment thesis starts checking out. If the investment thesis doesn't, I can't formulate something that I feel excited about with an adequate time horizon, which is 3 to 5 years, because I feel like this story is going to take a while to play out, then I'm just going to like let it play out here and potentially cut my losses. So that's where I'm at. Sergio, what can you tell me about ASST? Because I feel like they're trying to do something unique. I can't quite wrap my mind around the story, but it's about the management team. It's now investors that I respect, I hold in high regard. Jesse Dow's gotten a lot of things right. Has he gotten some things wrong? Absolutely. He's not perfect, right? Just like the Jeremy character. I've gotten a lot of things wrong too. So it is what it is. But in this space, Mike Alfred tends to get a lot of things right. Like, he just does. So I was like, interesting.
All right. Well, okay. I got like 5-6 minutes. I'll just, I've done my due diligence on this. I do have a position on. I don't have a position on in the stock. I have a position on with the options.
Right. I saw your post.
I have well, I'll give you the guys my position in a minute. But so there's two things with ASST, which is called Strive. It's Vivek Ramaswamy's company. He's part of the company. Okay.
Right. Right.
This company was a medical research company, actually. So there's two things going on. They turned into a DAT, a digital asset treasury company, when they bought their Bitcoin, about 110 or 15,000, whenever they did. But to do that, though, they did a PIPE. PIPE is private investment public equity. They did a PIPE at $135. $35. That's when the stock took a moonshot and went to 15, right? And then all the bag holders got created. Now we went back all the way down to 85 cents,
right,
90 cents. And then that's when I actually started putting the position on. But the point I'm trying to make is they're also buying a company, which I had a position on, and I got locked out on that one, called Semler Scientific.
Right.
Semler Scientific is another company. It's a medical equipment maker that already had purchased Bitcoin in the 95,000 range to the tune of about 5,500 Bitcoin that they had on their balance sheet. And when they made the offer, Semler Scientific was selling at 75% of its net asset value. And I was just considering the Bitcoin part of the company. I was disregarding the medical part of the company, right?
Right.
So I go, well, this is like a DAT with a existing business. They have some cash flow, hey, I'm just going to buy it. I bought it. They made the offer to buy Semler Scientific, so they're going to merge. So now they're going to have about 11,000 Bitcoin. And if you just look at Bitcoin and MNAV on ASST, they're about 0.9. So it's under 1. Okay.
Right.
But now I don't know who Mike Alfred is or the other dudes or whatever. The thing is that there's two existing medical equipment or medical research or whatever they do is companies. So there is some value in that, in the company as it is, but I'm disregarding all that. Just like with strategy, you have to disregard the software business that they own is basically a DAT, right?
Right.
So what they did is after the merger, they're going to have 11,000 BTC. And at the moment, at $1.35, their MNAV is 0.9. The reason it's getting stuck here at $1.35, $1.45 range is because there is a massive pipe that was created. Initial purchase of Bitcoin was done with this massive pipe that, you know, smart investors invested in. Now they're getting out, actually getting their money out. Once that's cleaned up, it's going to go. But the last thing that I want to say about this is they just floated preferred shares, not debt. Not unlike Strategy. Strategy does a lot of convertible debt. They did a preferred share debt. It was oversubscribed to the point that they had to increase it from 1.25 million to 2 million shares, and at $80 a share. And when you say the preferred, that's the 12%. Is the 12% is not interest? It's like the dividend that it's going to put out on a yearly basis on that part. And they're going to go buy Bitcoin now at about 100K now, right? With that 160 million. So it's at that. Plus, there's 2 medical equipment maker companies underneath it that may have some cash flow that could, you know, support the business if the business is not going well.
But I thought real quick, just to interject this point, I thought that the reason that they got hammered was fundamentally because Mr. Market didn't agree with them wanting to overpay for this company to the tune of 215% premium or something. Because my wife found that research for me.
Yeah, well, they paid
overpay for a company, and the market was like, "Fuck you, we don't like that."
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you one thing, GTJ. The day they announced that, I have a chat group that I put out my trades on. Is I said this is the best arbitrage I've seen in the last 20 years of my career. So at the time when the deal was announced between Semler and ASST was $4 a share.
Right.
And Semler, and the deal was share for share, but 21 shares of ASST for 1 share of Semler. So if you take $4 times 21, that's 84. Semler had closed at 27 the day before. And guess what? The next day it only popped to 35.
Right.
So the arbitrageurs were already knew that, there's this massive arbitrage opportunity here. So what I said is the best trade of all time now of arbitrage that I've seen in the last 20 years is buy Semler short ASST. And sure enough, Semler only pulled back to about 25 from 35. ASST went from 4 to 80 cents. Right. So, but you have to understand the deal. They did well at the moment, the arbitrage doesn't work anymore because Semler is only 28 and ASST is 135. 21 times 135 is about 36, 37. So Semler actually is a good buy now if you're going to buy. Initial overpayment has become now underpayment. So that's a different story. Look, my point, and then last but not least, my position is this. I initially, when it was before Mike, what's his name? Mike Alfred?
Yeah, Mike Alfred is this guy right here. Just so y'all know, because this guy is a good follow. He's on the board of directors of iRun, and he had a company and he sold it for a couple $100 million, a tech company. So the guy, there's a lot of guys that blow a lot of smoke. This guy is extremely, extremely legit.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. So when stock was about $1 on its way to 88 cents, I started putting on the position because now I'm looking at it as a DAT, and then at $1, and I'm looking at MNAV, we're down to 0.81, right? I'm going like, okay, I'm buying $1 for like 81 cents, so I like doing that kind of thing,
right?
And then, but I'm a believer in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to be a lot higher in a year or a year and a half, right? Okay, so I went in, started buying January 2027 leaps on ASST, the 2.5s. I paid a total of, I think I'm up to 250 of those, and I bought the 5s on ASST, and I think I'm up to 200 of those.
So did you do the January 27, or what do you think?
Yeah, January 2027.
They're going for like 40 cents or so.
Yeah. So I bought more actually today. But so what I'm doing though is that
Dude, I'm gonna buy 1,000 of those. That's interesting. Okay, go
well,
ahead.
I bought those, but TJ, I also sold. What I did is I also sold. Actually, the position started as a call debit spread.
Yeah.
I also sold the 10s at 25 cents. So I'm only putting up 20 cents.
Gotcha.
So the difference between 2.5 and 10 is $7.50.
Yeah, that's what you can make. Yeah.
That's the max I can make. It could go to 100. It doesn't matter. But then I'm very happy turning my 20 cents into $7.50 in a year and 4 months, 5 months, if it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
So you buy the so hold on, help me out here, Sergio. I know you got to go, and I'm gonna go. Send me the link, and I'll go on your channel, right? So you got your thing on, right? In a bit.
10 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, super. So
I'm buying the 20. I'm buying the 2.5, selling the 10.
Is it on here? Is it on here or no?
January 2027. Yeah, it should be.
No, I'm saying, is it showing on the screen? Is what I'm saying, because I'm
it's
trying to build the trade as I talk to you on the background. So I have January 2027. I buy the 2.5.
Yep.
And I sell the 10.
Yeah.
And then the debit is showing at 25 cents. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate, but you can leg in probably for a nickel less.
Okay, so maybe do 500.
So all I'm saying is they're not going to give you that 500 if you do it at a call debit spread. You can leg in, so you can buy the 2.5s. Okay.
Okay.
The stock pops. The 10s. By the way, when the stock popped to 180 last week,
yes,
the 2.5s went to 80 cents, and the 10s went to 40 cents.
So how about just buying the leaps, and then if it pops, then I can sell the call because
absolutely. And then you take all your money out, and then you can just play for free, basically, literally. I mean,
so for 40 grand, I basically would make a small fortune here if this thing were to do a fucking moonshot, like people are saying.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Basically, this isn't anything to do with fundamentals at all. It's just an arbitrage play. Is that what you're saying?
The fundamentals is just Bitcoin. It's a debt, right?
Yeah, but look at all the open interest. Like, there's a lot of crackheads here. Like,
no, there's no crackheads in this. You should see the volume that's coming in on the 1s, 1.5s, 2s going out to January. There is a lot of open interest in there.
That is crazy.
A lot of money is going into the option. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is this is it.
Yeah, dude, look at this, 44,000 for just 3 months from now.
Yeah. No, look at January's coming up. January 1's 1.5.
55,000 or 54,000.
164,000 junkies that think that this thing has to be over 220 for them to make any money in fucking 90 days from now or whatever it is, 70 days from now. Wow.
Anyway, so that's my position. I have a call debit spread. So what happened is that when I put the call debit spread about a month ago, the calls, actually, the 10s went from, I put them on about 28 cents. They're now 10 bid or 15 bid 20 offer. So I'm buying the calls back now. I made about 8 cents on the January 10 calls.
Yeah.
I'm buying the calls back. So I'm just going to leave all my calls naked, wide open. And then on the next, if we do pop, I'll put them out again, take the money out. So basically I'm lowering my cost basis on the long side by buying the calls back.
Yeah.
But look, this is a lotto ticket. If it pops, amazing. If it doesn't pop, okay, fine. Whatever. We just lose 20 grand or 10 grand or whatever. So.
Yeah, because now I have 110,000 shares. I'm trying to build to 250. And then I'm like, if I could do 1,000 leaps, potentially turn them into debit spreads, that way I get reimbursed some on a pop, then you're able to make the spread between your long call and your short call minus the premiums that you're out. That's the max. If this thing goes to 100, your participation trophy is only the difference between the spreads, or the difference between the strikes minus the premiums that you're out.
Yeah, absolutely. But the difference is immense, right? So I mean, 2.5 to 10 is, if the stock is 10 by January 2027,
that's crazy.
25 cents is turning into $7. What is that? 3,000x or something? But the other thing that you can do is, you don't have to do any of this complicated stuff, obviously. You can buy the leaps and sell the short-term ones, because the short-term ones actually are higher IV and you can sell a month out and collect nickels and nickels and nickels and nickels. You can do that. You can do like a PMCC, right?
Yeah.
So there's many ways, but I chose to just buy the leaps, and you're gonna say like, why didn't you buy the 1.5s and 2s? I'm like, no, this is my lotto ticket. I'm gonna pay as little as possible on this thing.
That's why I call them lotto leaps when they're way out of the money.
If this thing goes to 10, it's a $500,000 trade, and I put up $20,000. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
I agree. And again, I talked to the wife and the family about it, and I was like, do we want to gamble? Because I feel like I want to earmark $250,000, and I'm going to go find the one place. This is a banner year. Made over $5 million.
I think Bitcoin will be.
I want to go piss away $250,000 on a fucking lottery ticket. Okay.
Well, I know, but
I got time for it to play out, and it might actually be a real company. It seems like there's a lot of smart people behind it, so that kind of made me. I don't know. I'm very intrigued.
Look, there is definitely decent folks in the company, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, again, Mike Alfred or the influencers, I don't care about at all.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, I've looked into it, and I was involved in the takeover too, which was okay. And now I cleaned up Semler now, but there is a play on Semler here as well. If okay, the deal is going to close first quarter of 2026. Okay. So, and the both shareholders parties approved the deal, the takeover. Okay.
Yeah.
So if the stock is at 135, oh, I just bought something or sold something. 135 times 21 is 30. Let's see. I don't even know. Let's take the calculator. Okay, stock stays here for another quarter. 135 times 21 is 28.35. I think Semler is about 25. So there is not that much juice in there to play to buy the stock. But if between now and the first quarter, ASST moves to 2.5, let's say, now you have 2.5 times 21, which is close to $60, right? Now you can buy Semler. You can actually do the same arbitrage again. But all I'm saying is, don't make it complicated. I bought the calls. I bought the leaps. I'm just, I think it's a good lotto ticket. If Bitcoin goes to 150,000, I'm pretty sure ASST will be like $4, somewhere in that range. Yeah. And it goes to 200,000, probably 6.5 range.
Well, from a technical perspective, Jesse Dow said that this thing needs to get over $2 and make it support, and then there's not a whole lot stopping it to go back to like 10 or 12 bucks. So that
yeah, I agree. Technically,
there's potentially some short squeeze action there with the float or whatever.
Yeah, there is some of that, but technically, what they call this, a cup and a handle or something. I don't know.
I'm like, whatever, dude. It's a lottery ticket. Have the wife's blessing, so I can't get in trouble here.
No, but with the lottery ticket, you want to put in as little as possible, right?
Yeah.
So if you can do it for like 25 cents or something in a call debit spread, I'm like, okay. I'll play. I'll put in 10, 15, 20 grand, whatever. That equals like, I think I'm long. Actually, let me take a look.
But I want all of y'all to hit subscribe if this thing works out and I get like a 10x on 250 grand. We got to do a yacht party somewhere for that, because this is just crazy.
Okay, I am long 500 now options. That was that. I bought some more. I'm long 300 of the 2.5s, 200 of the 5s, and I'm only short 75 now because I'm buying the 70. I'm buying the 10s back with profits, so I'm actually lowering my cost basis on the. You can do this too, by the way, right?
Of course. Yeah.
You leave the long side alone, and you can always mess around with the short side, right?
Yep.
You can just collect money while you're back and forth, because stock is not going to take a moonshot higher.
You're just flipping the contracts on the short side, and eventually, if there's really a situation where this thing's going to do a moonshot, guys, if you know how to play your cards, you can take the short call off, and you have an unlimited participation trophy to the upside. So what Sergio's saying is he's got a building and he paid for the roof. But when it's a profitable endeavor, he takes the roof back off and then he puts it back on, takes the roof back off. But if you could get, you got to get real fortunate, right? But if you can get real fortunate and all of a sudden there's a moonshot possibility, take the roof off and let it run.
TJ, with all due respect to the Beyond Meat bag holders, okay? That fucking thing went from 50 cents to $10 in a week.
That's life-changing money if you're in it. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I tried to short the bullshit at like 9 overnight, and then I couldn't short it. There were no shares, and I said, I should naked short this thing. But then on a retail account, if you get caught naked shorting stuff, they will F you. So it's not worth the risk. But look, man, open went from 50 cents to 10. Hey, shit happens.
Yeah.
I got a year and 4 months. Let's play. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Yeah. So I've got, like I said, I'm trying to get to 250,000 shares, and then I'm trying to get these 1,000 leaps. I haven't had any luck getting them filled, not even one. So we'll see. But I'm trying to get my price, right? Like I can get it filled right now, but I got to pay the extra nickel. And
No.
Don't
pay
the extra nickel is a lot.
Don't you'll accumulate it slowly. You don't pay the extra. Extra
They'll
nickel
give
is
it to me
8% on a 40-cent option, bro. What are you doing? No.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway,
guys.
what time do you need me over there, Sergio?
I'm gonna come on at 10. Do my Friday power hour at 10 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, all of you should show up. Come watch us.
What time is it over here in Texas? Help me out.
12. So in
12?
half an hour.
Sounds good. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. I'm gonna wrap this up, grab a bite to eat, and then
Same thing
look
here.
for
I'm
me
gonna get a
look
cup
for
of
me in the
coffee
background.
and go do the monkey show over there. So.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
All right, take care, bro.
Appreciate you guys.
Bye now.
Awesome. Well, let's thank Sergio for joining us on Friday. So, Pun, talk to me, my man. What are we looking at? I mean, I feel like your situation. How are you feeling about BM&R? I know you said that it's like lower conviction. Is it just because you haven't dug in, or are you like a little sketchy with like the whole Tom Lee narrative, or like what's got you feeling a little bit uneasy, if you will? Because now I'm down $1 million on BM&R, and I don't know why, but I feel good about the position still. Maybe I'm a little delusional. I don't know, but I started thumbing through the Genius Act. And I started thumbing through something called the Clarity Act. And dude, all I kept seeing was tokenization, stable coin. And it was just like a broken record on there. You can use Grok and ChatGPT to help you do this type of research. It's awesome.
Right.
And I was like, that has to be built on something. And to my knowledge, and it's limited in this space, Ethereum's kind of the only game in town for what they're trying to do.
Right. It's either that or possibly XRP, but it seems like everybody's adopting Ethereum. So
no, but XRP is more like payment processing. I don't think you can build this infrastructure on XRP. I don't think so. And I've had a lot of nerds that work in the space, and they're like, Ethereum is the only game in town if this is where the world is going.
Right. Yeah, I think I just need to have more conviction with it. I don't know why. I've just always been leery with crypto.
Yeah, but that's what scares me about conviction, though. And I think this is a good conversation to have. And I got to get running here in a couple minutes, and I want to hear from Stevie. Sometimes I have so much conviction in a company like SoFi, and you look up and you're like, holy shit, I'm 250,000 shares strong in the 401k that I've been rocking with for a long time now. And then in the public portfolio over here, I think we were at 250,000 at one point. I scaled back down to like 150, and then now nothing, because I could make similar money just strangling it, which is just a hell of a lot easier on my blood pressure. But having that type of conviction is scary, because you can get into a Palantir or a Hood situation, right? Or even SoFi. SoFi's done very well for a lot of investors now too. But it could be very painful along the way, and that conviction is gonna get tested over and over and over again. And I feel like it creates diamond hands, right? Like I feel like it'll mold your temperament in the way that you carry yourself in the market. It's really interesting, man. I wrote up a company called Rocket Lab. Shout out to Matt Money. He was in the chat earlier. Mm-hmm.
I
Dude,
wish I got more.
20,000 shares of Rocket Lab in our buy, hold, and hope portfolio
Mhm.
at like a little over $4 average. And I got rid of them, I think at like 43 or $44. And there was still more juice than the lemon, but it was literally an investment thesis. It was kind of like ASST. I literally did it because I believe in bad money, and the guys that were covering it, Vince is bullish. These guys were covering it, Rocket Lab Weekly. I'm lurking in the background, not commenting much, watching Rocket Lab Weekly over and over and over again. I go, these fucking dudes are onto something, and I'm going to make money. And because of that Rocket Lab's position, and Riot, because we rode Riot up from 7 to 21. The buy, hold, and hope position, that portfolio has outperformed my option selling portfolio. The only way that I can catch them now is I got to go make another $1 million on SoFi by the end of the year, which is going to be real tough to do. And the BM&R trade has to turn around. If not, the buy, hold, and hold portfolio, where you do nothing, ultimately makes more money. Granted, it doesn't produce cash flow, but it makes more money, if that makes sense. The reason I sell options is because I got to produce cash flow, right? Like I got to generate income because that's what we live off of.
Yeah.
So Stevie, what are you playing right now? I know you say you've been investing since 16. I want to hear from you. What give us your top 3 stocks, maybe some nuggets that we could have here for the folks in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, lately I don't look like such a genius now, but one of the names I've been looking at is Sezzle. Just a buy now, pay later name. They're trading pretty cheap based on growth. I had this thing in college where I actually had to make a presentation and pitch a stock to the school endowment fund. Like they had a bunch of students that managed the portfolio for the school.
Right on.
And they bought a ton at like $27, $28, went up to 170, and now it's back down in the 50s. And I think it's trading relatively cheap for what it's growing, and I think their leadership is solid, and it's a small market share, and they can keep growing on that. So that's one of the names I've been eyeing for a while.
That's awesome. And Sezzle is kind of like is that like a firm or?
Yeah, similar. Similar to a firm, kind of similar to a firm, just cheaper. That's about it.
I can't get that damn option filled, guys. I'm so irritated. That annoys me. What about you? What's a flyer stock that you guys have? Let's talk about, like, I'm in ASST. I'm showing you all my lottery ticket. Let's have the last 2 or 3 minutes because I gotta go. What's a lotto stock? One that you're interested in. You might not even be invested in it, but you're eyeballing it. You're stalking her. Like you're stalking that stock. Like what's a flyer stock? And let's see it in the chats too, because I go back and read the comments. What is a flyer stock that you're in, or that you want to be in, like that you're just kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger or not, but for whatever reasons you keep reading articles, you listen to earnings reports, that kind of thing, earnings calls.
I've been wanting to get in Meta forever, and I think
Meta's not a flyer stock, dude. I'm talking about like a stock that you shouldn't be in. You should be in Meta. I'm talking about like a little $5 stock or something.
I really had the opportunity to get in Meta, and I feel like now's like the first chance I've gotten. So I think it might be on the list.
Dude, this one here, guys, I live
Next.
less than an hour away from this company. All the politics are lined up for this company. There's nothing to stop them from achieving what they want to achieve. So it is clear sailing for that company right there. Very, very interesting. It's a grinder of a company though, right? Like this isn't a company that's going to go to the moon right away. But if you want a steady grower that has like a real clear path of execution, next is a legit, has a clear path of execution. So anyway, so there's Hive. I see Archer. I love me some Archer and Joby. I love that space. I think they're going to totally transformed the way people travel in these big cities. What about you, Stevie? What do you got?
Probably not the answer that you would want to hear, but BM&R is up there for me just because of like the whole ideology, like how certain people are still uncertain about crypto. I think Ethereum's real, but you know, that's probably my only one right now. I don't really have too many other. I always like looking at a bunch, but I don't really have any positions in any. And I probably will in the next year or two once I build up some more, you know, funds that I'm comfortable seeing, you know, get thrown out the window if that ends up happening. But
so I feel like an ability that I have in the stock market is I have this unique ability to see the stock with a fresh set of eyes. You see, whenever you're already in a position and it's not going well for you, it could easily cloud your judgment or the way that you look at the stock. It's a lot like having a girlfriend. And I used this analogy on a FaceTime a day or two ago. It's like you have this woman and things were going great, and then y'all cheated on each other. So she's not going to look at you the same way, and you're not going to look at her the same way. But then you're walking down the street or you're at the mall or wherever the case may be, and there's a guy with a fresh set of eyes, and he's seeing your wife or your girlfriend for the very first time, and just how beautiful she was to you when you first met her, that's how beautiful she is to him. So I always try to look at the position that I'm in and put it to the side and go look at BM&R with a fresh set of eyes, like I'm seeing her for the first time. And dude, I would love to be initiating a brand new position on BM&R at these levels. So that is how you've seen some positions get so big. If you've been following me for some time, it's because I call it my fresh set of eyes syndrome. In the stock market, it's called averaging down. Some people have the ability and the wherewithal to average down if the conviction is there and if the thesis is there. Well, I have the ability and the money to average down on BM&R, but she has to get to $30 per share.
that was your SoFi position a while back, right? Too.
Yeah.
I remember.
Dude, all of my biggest winners, guys. I'm
Right.
going to leave you all with this because I got to go, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on the channel today and people rocking with me on the chat. I'm different. All of my biggest winners were first my biggest losers. It is so weird, dude. I have never bought a stock with the exception of Rocket Lab that made money right away. It made money right away. It just did. Everything else that has made a substantial amount of money for us at some point has been a big fucking loser in the portfolio. It just has. That's why I sell options, because I can't pick the bottom to save my life. I cannot pick the bottom to save my life. I thought $56 was going to be I was going to be pissed off that I didn't buy more shares, guys. I was going to get 100,000 shares of BM&R at $56 because I bought these shares. They didn't get assigned to me. I bought them. I fucking bought them because I thought it was a good deal. So I'm like, well, if I liked it at 56, I should be fucking loving it at 36. The problem is, based on the capital allocation of the portfolio, I can't afford to buy the shares at these levels. I have to buy them at 30, or I just got to buy the leaps and take the gamble on the leaps so that it could average me down enough so that when I sell the covered calls, I'm making money. That's why I average down, right? Like I'm like, oh, I bought them at 56. So if I double the position at 30, that's going to put me at about a 43 roughly average. And if she's trading at 30, I could sell calls at 42, 43, or sell them at 40, knowing that I could roll it up accordingly. And I'm still generating six figures every couple of weeks selling calls. So it's like, there's like a lot of strategy going on. I ain't just fucking throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks, guys. So I want to encourage you guys. And I'm not saying, hey, go in the hole and buy more shares if things aren't going well. But if you have the investment thesis, I want to challenge you to be able to look at the ticker, not your position. Look at the ticker with a fresh set of eyes. And if this was your day one with this stock, if this was your day one, with your girl, how would you approach it? Because somebody's going to approach your girl, and I'm using the analogy so we can all relate, but somebody's going to approach her with the new date mentality, right? Day one mentality. Where am I going to take her? Dinner or movies? I'm going to buy her the rose, etc., because they're trying to get laid, right? So whenever you get in new with the new stock, you're trying to figure out how to make money. So how are you going to approach it with a fresh set of eyes, as opposed to just focusing on the black eye that you have right now? Because right now I have egg on my face with BM&R. But there's no reason, because I still have plenty of money on the sidelines, where I can't orchestrate some winning trades with BM&R right here, right now. It's just I'm overly allocated to other positions that are higher conviction, and I know how to go make money over there, a la SoFi. So that's the jam that I put myself in, if that makes sense. So it was a sizing issue, and not just on BM&R, just across the board. I was already too heavy in other positions. So now I have to be very, very patient with BM&R before I go fire more bullets. And I stopped firing bullets at shares. I now have 800 leaps, because it's also, there's tax strategy involved now. So I'm like, what if I can get to 1,000 or 1,200 leaps? And then I look up and I'm still down $500,000 on BM&R, and it's December 26th, 27th. Maybe I sell those shares for a tax harvest and have no fear of BM&R taking a moonshot. Why? Because I already bought the participation trophy as well. I got 1,000 leaps. And then if she's still dwindling 30 days later, and I feel like, hey, you owe me, bitch, I could go buy those 40,000 shares back at wherever she's trading. So there's this, again, it's just like, there's the strategy, then there's the strategy within the strategy, and there's a lot of layers to the onion, guys. So just, when you peel it back, sometimes it can make you cry. I got to run. Stevie, I appreciate you so much coming on the channel. I'd love to have you on again. Pun, I'd definitely love to have you on the channel again. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your lives to come on. I got to go grab I'm just going to do tuna, cheese, and crackers real quick just to get some protein in the body, because I'm going to do a massive workout later, and then I'm going to go golf. So I got to get something going here, and then I'm going to go on Sergio's channel. So if y'all want to follow us over to Sergio's channel here in about 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to go try to spend about half an hour over there. TJ the Wheel Deal signing off. As always, may your sky stay blue, stocks green. Peace out. God bless you guys.